Hi guys, welcome back to the Player YouTube, and you're probably wondering why you're staring at that Tesla parking only sign. Well, the reason is, guess what? We've got a P100D Model S, and I've said that very quickly because you probably missed the thing that I said P. Right, let me explain. This is all on charge, by the way, because we've had so much fun with this morning. This is one hell of a car. If you click up here now, we did a lovely review, I consider it a lovely review, of the Model S 100D, and that was a fantastic car and I really loved it. But when I was looking at bits and pieces, there were things that I could see but I couldn't access. So I rang Tesla and I said, I think there's something wrong with the car, and they went, there's nothing wrong with it, you've got the 100D, you haven't got the P100. I said, well, what's this P? That's the performance, that's the P for performance. And what that does is it opens up a whole box of tricks. It's like Pandora's box, because when you do get hold of one of these, oh my God, what a difference. It might look the same. I mean, it looks lovely. Let's check it out. These lovely black rims and the white, and it really does look startling. But what's more startling is the power this has. 600 brake horsepower. And I'm not joking. It really does have it's about 603 brake horsepower. 4 electric motors, one driving each of the wheels. And a 0 to 60 time, ready for this? Sub 2.5 seconds. There isn't much on the road that can keep up with this. Let's take a look around the car. Let's get inside, because I'm going to show you those buttons that I couldn't access when we did that video. I'm now pointing again up there on the 100D. This is the Model S P100D. Let's check it out. I'm with a click of my fingers. We'll go around the front. Round at the front, you get 2 boots on a Tesla, and when I mean 2 boots, 2 trunks in American, if you have a key, the key is like this, and if you push in the middle, that opens the whole car. Push at the back, that opens the rear boot, and if you push at the front like that, it should open the front boot, and it just lifts up. And it's quite, I mean, it's big. You can get a suitcase in there quite easily. This one's got the warning sign kit in it, but there's plenty of room inside it. Let's go and check out round the back, just to give you something a little bit different with the click of my fingers. Round at the boot, let's take a look inside. So the key again, this time push the back of the car. See, it's in the shape of a car. So we just push that like that, and there you go. Assisted tail lift, we love that too. Masses and masses of space in here. It's humongous. I mean, you really could. Underneath here, that just pops up like that. You've got all your charging cables. Not that you need them, because on these superchargers they come with them, so you just pull up and just literally, I think this whole car is pretty well built. You've got there's a big space over there as well, and then you've got this very large parcel shelf. I hate them, you know that. Let's check in the back and see what it's like for the passengers. Here in the back for the passengers, with a click of my fingers, well, there's bags and bags of room, and because all the batteries in this car are in the floor, there's no transmission tunnel, so it's lovely, and you can just slide across like that, and you just slide back like that. In the centre here you have independent heating controls. Unfortunately you can't adjust the temperature, but at least you can turn them on and off and point them in your face when you need them. There are also a couple of USBs underneath, and a very, very nifty cup holder for both of the passengers at the back. I love that, and it just pops back in there so neatly. Yeah, on a serious note guys, plenty of headspace, loads of glass in here. It's a lovely place to be. You could spend a few hours in here quite easily. Anyway, with a click of my fingers, then we'll head to the front. Here we are up front. And the first thing we'll talk about is the space that you get with this. You get quite a nice armrest here. I like this, but hidden beneath each one there and one there, is a double cup holder, which is rather neat. I like that a lot. This one here just pushes back, and inside again there's a massive space, and these things come out so you can adjust them to any size you want when you put them back in. So you get those extra large cups from certain, you know, fast food restaurants. They will fit in there as well, which is great because you can set that however you want it. Let's just put that back, and I love the way when you push that it just slides back automatically. In here there is another cubby hole, and what I've stupidly done is moved that too far in, so I'll move that back out again. Oh, there we go, and that flips over like that, and inside here we've got a 12 volt and 2 USBs, so plenty of charging places. But then you'd expect that, it's an electric car, so it's got loads of electric around it. This massive screen here, love that. It's so immense. When you're driving along, you can see where I am at the moment. I'm in the Tesla charging station, but just check that the quality of the screen is amazing. And zooming out and zooming in, this has a really good little chip in it, so it doesn't lag out as much as the old one used to, and that I have noticed is a lot better than the last one that we reviewed. And it, you know, it does its job. It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Let's take a look at the car. So the car comes up, just a touch of a button. The car is connected all the time to the internet, so you also get free Spotify with this, so you can have all your tunes on there, get your playlist sorted out. I've got the phone connected up as well. You know, it is like having a nice big iPad Pro right in the middle there. And I love all the finish as well, this sort of carbon fibre-y stuff, and the leather. It really is very, very well put together. And the steering wheel, very, very minimal as well. On the right here, it's just a very simple manoeuvre through the different options that you have. So you've got contacts, calls, you can move the sunroof backwards and forwards just by the click of a button here, change all the brightness, you can do the fan speed inside for your temperature, and actually set the temperature inside the car as well, all from one single button on the right hand side. And on the left, this controls your infotainment, your music. So this is your volume up and down for your radio or whatever you're listening to, and then you've got fast track forward, fast track back. At the same time, at the top on the right, which I forgot to mention, you have the voice assistant, so you can actually push that down and it will ask me whatever I want to ask it, and I can say, can you play Elvis, for example, or can you tell me, is it snowing in London next week? And hopefully it'll give me the answer. It's a bit like Tesla's own version of Siri, and we all know who Siri is as well. Right, so back to the car itself. You can set up and change literally everything on this car. So you've got suspension at the top, you can go high, low, whatever you're doing. Earlier on we were going through some water bits. I set it on the ride height high. When we're doing the high speed bits, you can put it on the very low one. You can set up the lighting, the actual driving. I mean, this thing, when you go into autopilot here, this is just literally mad. I'm going to show you a bit in a minute that I'm going to do a little bit of what we call B-roll of the radar system that this car has built into it. So this car is basically set up to drive itself, and at the moment law says we can't take our hands off the wheel and let it drive itself, but guaranteed in the next few years this car is so ahead of all the others, you will literally be able to get in it. Well, in actual fact, you'll be able to sit in the back and it will come and pick you up and take you wherever you need to go and play all your favourite tunes at the same time. And this is ready for it. And that's the one big thing I love about Teslas, is they've been thinking about this years in advance from all the others. And trust me, we've done, like, check up there now and take a look at the Nissan Leaf, for example. The difference, we did the review. It's just beyond belief. And also, we went to Geneva, the motor show this year, and we just did a whole video on electric EV cars. Check up here again now, and you'll see that video as well. And this is just without a doubt so far ahead of the rest of the, well, they're not even competition. I can't even call them competition. Elon Musk, you know what you're doing, because what you've done is you've set up an infrastructure. You've done something that the others haven't done yet. They're all relying on other people to supply electric chargers. Where else do you go and it says reserved for Tesla owners only? That's sort of like VIP status. I think that's so cool. Over here, well, I can keep going on and on. You can see all the different, we've got all my trips in here. They're all measured and recorded. Got the navigation we can set up. Safety and security, it'll tell you when it next wiper service mode. I mean, come on, tow mode, tire pressure monitors, and then you do a software update as well. Now this will do this normally at night, and the one thing, when you own a Tesla, you know when you buy a car and after about 3-4 years it depreciates and bits wear out and you need new things put on. This car actually gets better as it gets older, and you probably ask yourself, well, how can that be? Simple. It's called computer electronics, and the electronics send the computer over and it changes this. I don't know, I'm not a technician like that, but it upgrades. You know, like your laptop upgrades. This does it. So this car upgrades and gets better. So the only thing that really wears out on this are the tyres and a little bit of, you know, maintenance here and there. Everything else in this car will last an eternity. Absolutely stunning. Loving this car. Let's get it out on the road, give it a little road test and show you the ludicrous mode in full. And by the way, it has ludicrous plus as well. I haven't shown anyone that yet. Until you see it, it is completely mad. In the click of my fingers, as they say. Well, here we are, guys. We're out in the Tesla Model S P100D. And the first thing everybody notices when they get in this car is how quiet it is. But then, you know, it's only to be expected. It's an electric car. It's there's no moving parts apart from the you know, the little motors and the axles. Really, there's no exhaust sound. There's nothing. So I would have expected a little bit of feedback from the road, but even that is extremely quiet. Whether it's these lovely Pirelli tyres that they've put on recently, because it's just had new rims and tyres put on here. Whether it's those Pirelli tyres that are really quiet or not, I don't know. Whether it's the air suspension, which this car also has, I don't know. But the car itself, I mean, it's just over 2,200 kilos. You know, it's 2 metric tons. That's pretty heavy. It's a pretty heavy battery that they've got in here, because that's mainly where the weight is. Battery, well, range on this, Tesla say around 380 miles. I think you'd be hard pushed to get 380 miles. Probably around about the 300 miles if you were in the sort of, they call it the chill mode, and the chill mode is like the sort of driving it like a normal car. As soon as you go into sport mode, then the range will come down, you get a little bit more performance, and then obviously with the P, because it is the performance pack, you've got the ludicrous and the ludicrous plus mode, and then to be honest, you're going to be down in the sort of 160, 180 mile range, a lot less, because obviously it's just like a car. If you're out in a Lamborghini, you're absolutely towing it. You're going to burn a load of fuel, and likewise you're going to burn a load of juice from the battery if you're completely towing it. Anyway, I've put it into the chill mode, just so it's nice and cool and calm and collected while I tell you a little bit more about the car. Let's talk price. So this is the P100, and the 100 is the 100 kilowatt battery. From now on, there will not be a 70, a 90, a 100. They're either going to be short, long or medium range batteries. There's reasons for this, which I'm not going to go into and explain, but they're very, very simple. So the P100 at the moment is the highest battery, the longest range battery you will get. It is also the most powerful. It's the 100 kilowatt battery. You're paying for the P 132,000 English pounds. That's UK pounds. That's a lot of money, considering you can buy a standard Model S with the low range battery, which still gives you reasonable mileage, for around about £60,000. And there's going to be a new car coming out. It's not a Model S, but there is a new car coming out. It looks very similar to the Model S, Don't really want to talk about that because we're going to be reviewing it in a few months, and I want to tell you all about it when it comes out. But that will have those three options for a lot less. You're talking around £35,000. Don't want to talk about that now. So 132 grand buys you the P. That is the performance pack. As I say, standard one, 60 grand. If you want a Model S with the long range battery, the 100, as it used to be called, it's going to be around about 90,000. So my thoughts are, why, apart from the fact that you suddenly get 0 to 60 in the lunatic mode, or I beg your pardon, in ludicrous mode, call it lunatic mode, you get that sub 2.5 seconds. And to be honest, that seems all there is. I'm going to check this with Tesla when I drop the car back and actually find out why you're paying almost £40,000 more for a car that, you know, it just goes a little bit faster. I'd be quite happy with 4.2 seconds, which is what the standard car does it in. Top speed limited to 155 miles an hour. A little bird tweaked in my ear that if you update the software on this car, someone could actually make one of these go 230, 240 miles an hour. I'd be a little bit wary of something like that. This car, you cannot turn off the stability control. So if things do start to go a little bit wayward, there's not a lot you can do. You're sort of beholden to the computer, which worries me a little bit. I'd love to take one of these out on the track, but again, when it's all in safe mode, it's not really going to be that much fun throwing a 2-ton car around, even though it does go very, very fast indeed. Well, warranty wise, it's a decent warranty on the car, and I did speak to Tesla when I picked the car up, and they did say to me, look, we'll guarantee this battery for 100,000 miles. So if you bought a car, it's very unlikely nowadays you're going to keep it for 100,000 miles. So unlike other companies, I mean, Renault do the, you know, pay as you go with the battery, and then you get a free one when it won't charge anymore. You know, like when you buy a mobile phone, and after about 10 months, a year, it doesn't hold the whole charge again. You get less time, and this is all done to make you buy another phone. And I think obviously that is the game with EVs, electronic vehicles, is to give you a battery that needs replacing, and they can get more money out of you, because you're not actually going to be paying a lot to service one of these. You don't have to pay road tax on these. You don't have to pay to drive into certain areas within the UK, as far as I'm aware. You know, there's no charge for this car, so somewhere they've got to make a bit of money out of you. The car itself, it's a wonderful car to drive. It's superbly comfortable. There's plenty of room in the back, as you saw when we did the passenger thing. And it's just a lovely, great place to sit. The one thing, before I sum this up, is if I'd have known 10 years ago that a little company in Southern California would be leading the technology, the forefront, the pinnacle of electronic vehicles, run by a South African, if I'd have had a bet on that, I mean, come on, guys, you would have thought it'd be BMW, it would have been Audi, it could have been, you know, one of the leading Japanese makes. Nope, it's a little South African guy who lives in California. Says it all. I love Teslas, they're fantastic cars, and I think where Elon Musk has got it right is with the infrastructure, and that's where a lot of the other companies are failing, in my opinion. It's infrastructure. It's people are worried, they've got range anxiety, and I think the main thing is, if you can go somewhere, stick this on charge, get a couple of 100 miles in 20 minutes, which is what I've just literally done, and then get back on the road and get you home. What more do you want? Government compensates you in the UK, this is for UK subscribers only, £3,500. They've dropped it from 4.5. I thought our government was trying to, you know, entice us to go in electric cars. Anyway, 3.5 grand off the price of one of these, any one of the Tesla range, any one of the electric car ranges, to be truthful, and also with your home charging kit, up to £400 can be again gained from a government subsidy. So they are doing something, so it's better than nothing at the end of the day. You've been watching me, AJ the Player, and yeah, subscribe, comment, and if you wouldn't mind, hit the thumbs up, because that really does help with our social media standing, and that allows us to get more cars and give you more reviews. And don't forget, we've got the new vlog now as well, that's coming out every 2 weeks. Some of my adventures with some weird and wacky people and some weird and wacky toys, I can tell you. Well worth watching. I'll catch you again next week, guys, with another car. I look forward to it. Take care for now.